Hi, this is Debbie with Book and BuJo. Welcome if you're new, welcome back if you've been here before. Today is my mid-month check-in. So what have I read so far and what am I reading now? Well, I finally finished some of my January books, and that was Real Self-Care by BuJo Lakshman, and I would definitely recommend this book for anyone who has a stressful job or has a lot going on in their lives. There's some really great tips in here. For me, I'm semi-retired and I don't have a lot of stress in my life, so I didn't get as much out of this now as I would have even 5 years ago when I was in a very stressful job. This would have been really helpful. But now it's not quite as applicable in my current life. But I did really like it. 4 stars. And then I finished Wind and Truth by Brandon Sanderson. This is the 5th book in the Stormlight Archives, and I really enjoyed it. I kind of see where people weren't real excited about the direction it took and things like that, but personally, I feel like the direction that each of the characters' lives took and the paths that they went on were realistic and flowed well. I didn't really have any issues with it at all. I thoroughly enjoyed it. 5 stars. The next book I finished is Forsworn by David Estes, and this is the first book in the Forsworn series, and I love this. Like 5, 6, 7, 8 stars. Loved it. I really enjoy David Estes' writing, and I'm a very character-driven reader, and I also like, a good plot and things like that, but definitely a character-driven reader. And David Estes always has such amazing characters, and you get to know them so well throughout each of the different books, and this one is no exception to that. And personally, my favorite characters are Ludo and Bryony, and I also I was calling him Tomas, there's no H, so I'm going to say Tomas. And I do like all the rest of the characters. Perfidy is hilarious, and I like all of the other characters, but those 3 are my favorites. So every time we got to one of their chapters, I'm like, yes, I can't wait. So I would highly recommend this one. I loved it. And again, you don't need to read any of the rest of David Estes' fantasy series to get to this one, but there are some overlap in some of the characters throughout all 3 of the different series. So Fate Marked, Kingfall Histories, and then Forsworn. I highly recommend them. So good. Those are all of the books that I've read. What am I currently reading? So I am currently reading, can't tell by this, but at least I'm at a chapter, Shaman's Crossing, which is the first book in the Soldier Son trilogy by Robin Hobb. And again, character-driven stories. Robin Hobb is very good at that, but it also has some great atmosphere, and there's a really good plot line that goes throughout as well. And Navarre, the main character, gives me a lot of feels of Fitz from the realm of the Elderlings. So totally different characters, but they have some of the same feels to them, and it was really nice to kind of get back into Robin Hobb's writing. I love her writings. So this one is about Navarre, who is the second son of a soldier. So the first sons kind of take over the nobility or whatever. They kind of take over the family name. The second son is the soldier. The third son is like the priest or the religious person. And it kind of goes on down through the line. So each son in order has a specific role that they play. We follow here Navarre, and we follow him from a young age on up to where I am now, which is where he is around 18 or so, and he is now at the military academy where he gets to learn all the different things he needs to know as a soldier, and hopefully as an officer. And that's where I am so far. I am loving it. Thank you so much to Paula for doing a by read with me on this. And then I'm also reading Daughter of Fire by Sofia Robleta, and I'm about almost 30% of the way through. And so far this is really interesting. It kind of reminds me a little bit of 100 Years of Solitude, but in this one we're in South America, and it's kind of when the Mayans were kind of taken over by the Spaniards, and how the Mayans are treated now that the Spaniards have kind of come in and taken over everything. And it's very interesting. So kind of a noble Spaniard has married a Mayan, and so his daughter is half Mayan, and it's kind of interesting how she is treated as well, because she has the darker coloring of a Mayan, and she can speak the language, but she tries to hide it so she doesn't get ridiculed for it and things like that. So I don't know a whole lot about what's going on yet, because only 30% of the way through, but it's really good so far. It's very interesting. And then the last book that I'm currently reading is Natural Solutions for Hyperthyroidism and Graves' Disease. And this is by Eric M. Ozansky, and he is a DC, so a chiropractor. And so far it has some really good information. I'm not a whole lot of the way through yet. I'm only on page 51. Not too far, but it has some really good information so far, and it is helping me out with trying to figure out how to get through having hyperthyroidism. And then what I still need to read, we'll talk about the books that I have from my library before they have to be returned. And this is by Ovid. This is The Metamorphosis. This is for the Hardcore Literature Book Club. And then I also need to read Psyche and Eros, and this is for the BuJo Buddies Book Club by Luna McNamara. And then The Memories of Souls. This is the third book in the Course of Dragons series by Jen Lyons, and this one is on my TBRopoly. So these are the three that I will be getting to next. So that is where I am so far on my February TBRopoly. Ooh, how are you doing on your TBR? Hopefully you are getting further than I have. Didn't help that I was still reading some books from January that I wanted to finish, so that's kind of taken up most of February. So hopefully, a lot of the books are shorter, so hopefully I can fly through them a little quicker. But I have a feeling I'm not going to pass my TBR this month either. We'll see how it goes. And if you made it this far in the video, leave some type of elephant emoji in the comments to let me know that you are here. And until next time, keep reading. Bye!